Hey friends. So, I've kind of just been sitting with some feelings for the last day or two, or letting some stuff kind of show up in a way that I don't always either allow in my normal life or there's something about the time and space of being on vacation and being in a beautiful place, as I've been describing for the last couple days on my post, that just allows feelings to show up, and they're not always necessarily positive feelings, right? I've posted about joy showing up and connecting with this kind of sense of really boundless joy that I remember from childhood, and that I'm watching my daughter and her cousins sort of experience here. Right now, it's the next generation is having that, getting their dose of that feeling. But what also shows up when we make space is stuff that we might not be looking at, and things that might be less on the surface of things, attractive and fun to put our attention on. And so I've been letting that kind of happen. I've just been, letting myself, for me, it often manifests in my body. I'll feel it in my body. If I wake up in the morning and I have a lot of stiffness in my body, all of a sudden I realize, there's some kind of burden that I'm carrying. There's something there's some weight that's bearing on me. And I have, at this point, a pretty, solid series of practices to be able to work with the physical tension, and that also relieves a lot. It also allows me access to the emotions sometimes, and the mental components of tension. But beyond that, there's also a sense of, well, where is it coming from? And how am I carrying it unconsciously or semi-consciously, that's creating this sense of it being a burden, because that's something that I can do yoga and I can make my back feel good. I can iron out the kinks in my physical system, and even to some degree in my energetic system and emotional system, consciously through work, through practice. And man, is that ever a valuable tool, because if you couldn't do that, then we just have this accumulating, it's like this snowball of stress, and it wears us down. I've had that experience too, and I've gotten pretty rigorous about trying to be aware of what's really going on in my system so that I can manage it to the best of my ability, But then there's this question, like, what's going on underneath? And for me today, it was like, I think I think what showed up for me was some of the ways in which I'm kind of a narcissist. Like kind of I think I'm a subtle narcissist. But maybe I shouldn't call myself a narcissist. But there's this sense of attachment to the kind of immediate gain of my actions, and a sense of, my experience, my me-ness, my ego being important in some ways that it's not real fun to look at, but it's also can't really deny. And so I think what was flashing as I was sitting this morning in meditation was, there's no such thing as the gains of, like, the fruit of our labor. The reason we're not supposed to put our attention on that, like the Bhagavad Gita says, put your attention on the labor itself, not on the fruits of your labor. And virtually any spiritual teacher you talk to will tell you that. But the reason why that's a bad idea is because those things are illusions. That feeling of success or whatever it is an illusion, and therefore becoming attached to it is tying ourselves to an unstable foundation. It's building on sand. It's not, if we need that in order to feel okay, we're in trouble, because that's not going to be consistent. It's not going to stick around. We got to find something more permanent. And what was showing up today was, it's who we're becoming. It's who we are becoming and evolving into. This is something Tony Robbins talks about all the time. It's not about the things we're doing, or necessarily the success or failure of those things. It's about us being molded as we go. And that gave me some solace this morning. That gave me a bit of a sense of, it's kind of stabilized me in a way. It stabilized my sense of, I don't know what to call it, but kind of a, well, I think just some of the things that I was witnessing in myself that were unpleasant, or that were unflattering. All of us, I think, there are these moments when stuff shows up and it's like, ooh, that's not a flattering picture of me, right? We find something in our psyche. We find something in our behavior. Sometimes it comes out of our mouth, and then we go, what just happened? We see an image of ourselves. It's almost like looking at a photo. We get a little snapshot of awareness. It's like looking at a Polaroid picture of a moment and going, that's not flattering, in whatever way. And so, but again, generally, those experiences are kind of short term, and they're very they're micro perceptions within a vast continuum of our growth and evolution. And I think I'm someone who thinks, I happen to think it's kind of healthy to take a look at those photos and to be willing to go, ooh, not a good look, because it provokes growth. It provokes me to reflect on, why did I treat that person this way, or why did I think that thought when this happened? A lot of times that's what's happening for me, is I've gotten better at kind of going, why does my mind go here in this circumstance with this person? Why do I go here to this kind of negative place, or and because I can't not, I don't think that I will gain much or that I will evolve if I just judge that and say, well, that's bad and I shouldn't be doing that, and I should be thinking this positive thing. That's not going to work, because that doesn't take account of my actual experience. It doesn't take account of what's really happening for me emotionally, to which there is obviously some basis. Now that doesn't mean that my behavior towards the other person, or even my thinking about the other person, is a good thing. It might be symptomatic of a problem. It might be symptomatic of an underlying issue that I actually, but that issue is what we're trying to get at. That issue is what I'm trying to find and dig down into, and really sort of like find my way to an understanding, so that I'm truly growing, truly dealing with the issue. So I think that's what's happening today. I think that's where I'm arriving. Feels like movement. So I appreciate you. Much love. Have a wonderful day. Can't wait to see you tomorrow.